definitely probably one of the greatest things I've ever done in my entire life. I just want to thank all the support from all y'all. It really means a lot. And I'm glad to be home now today. Thank you.
How about that? That was the Lance Corporal, the Marine, who pulled that baby over the wall. You remember the video from Afghanistan. Joining me now to talk about him being investigated and other things is Tom Amenta, former Army Ranger and co-author of the book, The 20-Year War. Tom, he didn't say anything political, wasn't in uniform, and yet immediately he's being investigated. How can I take what's happened to our military as anything other than a political purge of enemies of the Democrats?
You know, honestly, man, this is just, some of this has just gotten so silly to me. Like, he didn't break any rules. He didn't break any laws. And if he chooses to be a supporter of former President Trump and wants him run again in 2024, then God bless him. Like, this is just getting to the point where we are getting so petty and so into our echo chambers that an American can't choose to support another American political candidate. Like, it's just absurd. Like, it's not even the military thing to me at this point. It's just the, like, what race to being petty can we get to, right? Like, it's just, it's obtuse. It's so dumb. It's like, why are we even having this conversation, man? Like, have we really lost that much common sense that someone can't voice the opinion of whom they'd like to see elected in America? Like, that's a basic American freedom, saying, this is my guy or this is my girl who I want to see win an election. Like, it's just dumb.
But Tom, but that is where we are, though. It has become so absurd, and you're 100% right about it. Common sense, Tom. We can't even agree that a man is a man and a woman is a woman anymore. There's no common sense at all. We've just completely, collectively lost our minds.
Dude, I don't understand why you would possibly investigate this kid. I don't. Like, it just doesn't pass the common sense test. I keep going back to that every time I read about this story. It's like, he prefers a specific presidential candidate. Is he 18? Yes. Is he choosing to exercise his voice in America? Yes. Does he happen to do a certain job, which, by the way, he didn't violate the rules of? So what's the problem here? Who cares? Why do we care? That's my question. Why does anybody care?
I want to play you this of Mark Milley, again, chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And I just like this is one of those things that has been quite a wake-up call for me. I suspected a lot, but boy, this is a wake-up call.
Switch topics here very quickly. General Milley, do you think if the Chinese Communist Party decided to invade Taiwan, would their military leadership call and give you a heads up?
I think there'd be a period of increased tension, indicators and warnings, and I think there'd be an exchange of various communications at all levels. Department
You really
of State.
think the Chinese,
and I think
you really think the Chinese Communist Party head of the PLA would call and say, "Hey, General, FYI, we're going to get ready to invade Taiwan. I just thought I'd give you a heads up." You honestly think that?
I know I'd call him and ask him.
No,
I
I'm
would call
asking
him
the
and
other
ask him
question.
outright.
You think he'd give you a heads up
I think
on the invasion of Taiwan?
I think an invasion of Taiwan would be a fairly obvious thing to pick up on.
That is so embarrassing for so many reasons, Tom. I don't even know where to begin. It is clear that he knows China wouldn't. It's clear he knows, gosh, I can't believe I'm even saying this, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs is some subservient being to his Chinese counterpart. And man, I just feel like vomiting.
You know, Milley has just constantly put himself in these situations, or maybe ultimately history will look back and say that it was just foisted upon him. I don't know, but it just seems like he cannot, for all of his, when he was being questioned by Tom Cotton about, would he resign or things, and calling all of these things political statements and all this other stuff, and how he's not supposed to be a political being. Man, he just seems to keep running into basic political traps, doesn't he? Like, answer the question. No, I don't think the president, or the premier of China would call me or their senior general leadership, right? Like, be honest about it. We all know it, man. Like, they're not calling us, especially if they're invading Taiwan, who we consider an ally, who they keep increasing their aggression of flyovers, and they keep trying to find ways to, bother us through bothering them, like, of course they're not going to call us. Like, own it and then own the response. Like, not only is it embarrassing, it's just bad basic PR, which I don't understand. If he really just wants to be a soldier, give a soldier's opinion, right? Like, if you're not a politician and you're a soldier, then be a soldier. Answer the question directly and forthrightly. Or if you're a politician, then play the politician game, but play it better, man, because this is, like you said, embarrassing.
Tom, what's changed in our military? I mean, I remember, look, World War II, we're out there winning world wars. And since then, let's just breeze on past Korea. Since then, there hadn't been a lot of victories out there, Tom. And I'm looking at all these fancy planes and all these fancy aircraft carriers. And everybody knows we legitimately have the best frontline guys out there. What happened to us?
I think it's time to have a really uncomfortable conversation and face the hard and uncomfortable truth is that the American military is a microcosm of America. Part of what makes the military so great and the call to service so critically important in my mind is that the United States military is a microcosm of all 328 million Americans. And what I think is happening is that, one, we're seeing a reflection in the mirror in our military of what American society is evolving to, and we don't like it, and in my opinion, we shouldn't. But the other thing is I think that as the time has gone on, especially over the past 20 years, I'm not entirely sure if it's as representative as it once was, because you're starting to see a warrior class develop, which leads to more confusion for people who have no interest in serving, who don't want to step up and answer the nation's call. And as you have all of these things starting to happen, you know, one, the representation of America, but also starting to see this sort of undercurrent of, you know, generation after generation after generation of serving and that disconnect, then you see this really, really uncomfortable facet of the American society being out of step and out of touch with the military on some levels. And it's tragic because it shows just the echo chamber. It shows the divisiveness in America when we can't all pull together to defend the nation that we all know and love. America's greatest strength is supposed to be its diversity, right? It's supposed to be the fact that we are the great melting pot of the world and that what we all believe in is just, you know, freedom, democracy, and the American way. And to see that being chipped away at and to see the evolution of the problems cropping up in the military, I think on some levels, unfortunately, is a microcosm of America.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me, like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.